This video picks up where video 2 of ROBOTC Coding Basics leaves off. When we left off, I needed to make my robot do step 3, go forward past the second line of the basketball drills assignment. I know step 1 worked because I went past the first line. Step 2 of my code worked because it went backward and returned to the starting line. So now I need to make my robot go forward past the second line. Now I can go over here to the left side and click and drag these directions over again. I can type them in, or I'll show you an even faster way. Since I want to go forward, I'm going to go up here to my line of code, my block of code that made my robot go forward. If I use my left mouse button and hold it down, I can highlight this block of code. I can then right click and click copy. Go down here to line 27, right click again, and click paste. Now, since I copied this block that made my robot go forward, I know my robot's going to go forward again. However, I needed my robot to go past the second line, which is further away. So I'm going to make my wait time even longer. Let's try 3. I'm going to download this code to my robot. Always click reset to start your robot over at the beginning, and click play to watch my robot travel. Made it to the first line, made it to the start. Need to get to the second line. My robot stopped. I did not go far enough to get to the second line. What does that mean? I need to go back here to my code screen. The step that messed up was my third step because I did not go forward past the second line. So what do I need to do? I need to make my wait time even longer so that I can get to the second line. So I'm going to erase the 3 and put in a 5. Click download to robot. Always reset, play, and let's see if I was able to get past the second line this time. Here comes the step that I messed up on before. All right, I've made it to the second line. Now, I need to return back to the starting position. So I'm going to go back to my code screen. I already have that in my pseudocode, go backward and return to the start. Since I'm going backwards, I'm going to highlight the block of code that makes my robot go backwards. Right click, copy, go down here, right click, paste, and then I'm going to make my wait time the same as my last wait time, which was 5. Download this to the robot. Always reset, click play, and let's see what happens. The robot made it past the first line, made it back to the start. It gets to the second line. And it didn't quite make it back to the starting line. Notice it's still green. So I need to make it go back just a little bit further. So I'm going to go back to my code screen and make my wait time 6 seconds. Download to robot. Always reset before you start your code and see what happens this time. All right, here was the step that was incorrect before. I didn't get back to the starting line. This time I made it back to the starting line. So the last thing I need to do is make my robot go past the third line and then return all the way back to the beginning. I'm going to leave it to you to figure out how to write code that will make the robot go all the way past the third line and return to the beginning. You'll need to go to your code screen and you'll need to write a block of code to make it go past the third line, and then you'll need to write a second block of code to make it return to the beginning. Obviously, to make it go to the third line, you're going to need a time longer than 5. And to make it go back to the beginning, you're going to need a time longer than 6. In this section, I'm going to teach you how to do 2 different kinds of turns. Now, in the virtual worlds, basketball drills does not require turning. It's only forward and backward. So I'm going to go to the Labyrinth challenge to work on turning. In Labyrinth Challenge, the robot starts here at the letter A, and you'll need to come forward and then turn left to go this way, turn right to go this way, turn right again to go into this safe zone. So the first step I need to do is make my robot travel forward to roughly this part so that I can go up here. I cannot cross these black lines. So I'm going to go to my code screen, and I'm going to use the code that I used on basketball drills to go forward. I need a start motor for my right motor, a start motor for my left motor, and a wait time. I'm going to put right motor in here. And as I said before, I like to use the speed 60. You can use any speed you want as long as your robot successfully completes the assignment. I need to change this motor port to left motor. And since I'm just starting, my wait time is going to be a guess, so I'm going to go with 2 seconds. Download the code to my robot. Click on Labyrinth Challenge, start activity, play, and see what happens. All right, my robot went forward, but as you can see, if I turn right here, I'm going to hit this solid black line. So my robot has not gone forward far enough. So what do I need to do? I need to come back to my code screen and adjust my wait time. So I need to make it longer because I need my robot to go further. So I made it 4, download it to the robot, always reset, and click play. Now my robot is ready to turn so that I can go between this black line and this black line. If I click on camera 2, you can see I need to turn left so I can go this way. So I'm going to go to my code screen. I don't want to erase this block of code because I need my robot to go forward to get to the position that it's in. So I'm going to add a new block of code. However, at this time, I realize I've forgotten to put in my pseudocode. So I'm going to put in number 1, move forward for 4 seconds. Push enter. Next, I need my robot to turn left 90 degrees. So it's a new step of what I want my robot to do. I do not want to go back and change this block because I do need my robot to move forward. So I'm going to make a new block of code. In order to make this go quicker, I like to hold down my left mouse button and highlight the block. Click down here, right click and copy. Click down on line 22, right click and paste. And that way I can get my right motor, my left motor, my wait time. It's all in there right now and I can go a lot faster. Now to turn left, I actually want my left motor to go backwards, which would be negative, and my right motor to go forwards, which would be positive. I know 4 seconds is going to be too long, so I'm going to try something smaller like 2. Download it to the robot, and let's test it out. My robot moves forward to where it did before, and then turns left. Whoa, it went way too far. If I move forward here, I'm going to run into that wall. So to make my robot not turn as much, I need to make my wait time less. Let's try 1 and see what happens. Download the robot. Reset and play my code. My robot moves to the same position, turns left, still a little bit too far. It's going to hit that black line right there and end my assignment. So I'm going to come back to my code screen. Well, I can't make it 0 because if I put a 0 wait time, my robot won't even move. So I'm going to have to use a decimal. I'm going to try 0.7. Download that to my robot. Reset it. Play it. And look at that. The robot turned almost exactly 90 degrees. Another thing you can notice is, as my robot is moving, there's a green bar that appears on my code screen to show where the robot is at. What throws kids off is that the green bar isn't actually showing what step the robot is in right now. It's showing what step is coming up next. So if I reset and click play, notice the green bar appears on this block because it's showing what's going to happen next. Then it briefly highlights the right curly brace because that tells the robot to end reading the code. Okay, so the next thing I need to do is make my robot move forward to about this area. It's going to then turn right, go over here, turn right again, and end up in the safe zone. I'll leave it to you to figure out how to write that code. Let's say I'm working on Sentry Simulation. In Sentry Simulation, I need to make the robot turn right. So to make my robot turn right, I would want my right motor to be negative and my left motor to be positive. Now when I download that to my robot, you'll notice that the robot will now turn right because the right motor is negative. So remember, whichever direction you want the robot to turn, you want to make that motor negative. Obviously this won't work because if my robot moves forward from this point, it's going to hit the box and end my assignment. So I need to make it move a little bit further forward, but I'll leave it up to you to figure out how much further forward the robot needs to go. Now let's say I'm over here and I type in a code and I bring over my wait time. I'm just going to delete my wait time. Let's just say I forget to put in a number for wait time. Now we know it's going to be an error because this word is black. But let's just say I'm working and I completely forget to put that in, and I click download to robot, and you'll see there's a red X over here and it says an error. Anytime you get this message, it means something is wrong with your code. You have to come back here and figure out what's wrong. ROBOTC makes it so easy. You find the red X. Down here it tells you what the problem is. Undefined variable, wait time. That means it doesn't understand what you're telling it. It doesn't understand what wait time means. I need to put in a number here. It could be any number. It could be 9,000 if I want. Notice it'll still work. That would mean my robot would turn for 9,000 seconds. I'm not going to run that program, and you won't want to run your program either, because it'll sit there and run for 9,000 seconds. That's a long time. Now, sometimes you might forget to put a semicolon at the end of your line. If that happens, you'll get a yellow X. A yellow X means there's an error. Something's not quite right, but ROBOTC is able to figure out what you mean and was still able to run your code. Now, if you've forgotten how to make your robot do certain things like move forward, move backward, turn right, and turn left, simply go to your Google Classroom, click on the ROBOTC cheat sheet, and you will see examples of blocks of code of how to make your robot move forward, backward, make a sharp turn right, a sharp turn left, a more rounded turn right, and a more rounded turn left. Obviously, you can't just use this block of code every single time because sometimes you need your robot to move further forward or not go quite as far. So remember that longer wait times and higher motor powers will make the robot go further or turn more, and shorter wait times or lower motor power will make the robot go less distance and turn less. Well, that's everything about writing code. So you need to finish assignments, basketball drills, Labyrinth challenge, Sentry Simulation, and SumoBot. Remember that each time you finish one, you need to have Mr. Reese come over and watch your robot run that code. Simply showing him a filled-in star is not good enough. And make sure you show Mr. Reese your code, otherwise he will not be able to give you credit for that assignment.